Hi, Pleasant View Bible Church. Pastor Mike here, and I've wanted to provide you with an update regarding the reopening of our church services. Wanted to give you an update on the reopening of our Sunday morning services, which will be starting June 14th. That's in 2 Sundays from now. Our elders were able to meet Monday evening and discuss as many of the details as we could related to how to make the services the most accommodating to the most people, how to be safe, and take an appropriate amount of risk. And so let me just share those details as much as I know them with you. At this point, we are planning to have the sanctuary set up with every other row of chairs. So we plan to take every other row of chairs out to create 6 feet between rows. And then those chairs will be reset up in the gym, likewise about 6 feet apart, so that we'll have both locations where people can sit. In the gym, we'll have 2 large 60-inch flat screen TVs for the service to be fed live into there. We encourage people to sit 2 seats apart. At least family units can all sit together. If you come together, if you live together, you can sit together, but try to keep a couple seats between each group to try to maintain social distancing recommendations as much as possible. So there will be padded chairs in both the gym and the sanctuary. We will not be opening up the branch during this time. It's a small enough room that we don't feel like it could really accommodate a lot of people. And we will be having audio video technicians in both the gym and the sanctuary. And it would probably be difficult to try to have all of the people we would need to run all 3 areas on any sort of an ongoing basis. So in addition to that, we are saying that face coverings are completely optional. That is up to you, what you want to do with that. They're not required. We will be offering hand sanitizing stations throughout the building where you'll be able to wash your hands with sanitation and certainly in the bathrooms we have soap dispensers and such, and so we are encouraging folks to keep your hands washed. We're being told that that is still one of the most important elements for people to remain safe. We've also are planning to change the format of the service just a little bit to try to make things a little more safe. We have removed the greeting time for now. We do plan to have congregational songs, though there will be a couple less. And in general, we're planning to shorten the service a little bit. Not sure how much, but we're planning to shorten it a little bit to create a little bit less risk that way. It'll also be shortened because we're not going to be passing an offering plate at all. Instead, we will have offering boxes in both of the main foyers where people can put their money and their offering to the Lord. We also do not plan to hand out bulletins. And actually, this will likely be something that we think will be an ongoing thing. It will actually save on money. And once people get the hang of using the online app that we are planning to use, it should make things possibly more convenient for them. So the app that we plan to use in lieu of an actual bulletin is called Bulletin Plus. And I would encourage you to go ahead and download that app. It's a free app you can download to your smartphone or your iPad or something as soon as possible, as soon as you can. And our plan then will be to upload the bulletin every week to that app. As soon as you download it, it'll ask you to search for your church. You will type in Pleasant View Bible Church, and you'll have that option to click on it. I think once you type in Pleasant, I think there's like 2 options. One of them is Pleasant View Bible Church, and the other is a different one. But click on Pleasant View Bible Church, And don't be surprised when the bulletin that comes up has nothing to do with our church just yet. Right now, it's just more or less a template that will come up. But before June 14th, we should have our actual bulletin figured out and on there. And then every week forward, when you get to church, all you need to do, in fact, it'll be available even before church on Sunday, is click on that Bulletin Plus app. The bulletin will come up and you can view it digitally and you can have it at home whenever you need it. So we do plan to have a few bulletins available for those who simply don't have the technological abilities with a smartphone or so on to access the bulletin. We will have some alternate, just a couple available for those people. And for the first month or so, we will have quite a few available in the transition period. Also, as it relates to the nursery, we will not be having a nursery that is staffed. The nursery as a room will be open for moms and their infant children only. So it's more or less will serve as a cry room for moms with their own child if they need to take them in there, and the service can be viewed in the nursery by the folks that are in there. We do plan at this point, at least tentatively, to shoot for July 5th as the first Sunday that we will begin to have a staffed nursery again for parents to drop their kids off, their infants and crawlers off at, as well as a 2 and 3 year old class that we plan to have staffed starting July 5th. So again, that's a tentative date. We're watching to see how things work and how things go. But for now, that is what our plan is. We also intend to thoroughly clean the sanctuary and the gym and the areas where people will be after each service, so that from week to week, everything will be sanitized. So that is our intention as well. And we have taken our cues for these policies from not only our governor of our state, but also our local Kosciuszko County Health Board. And basically the decisions that we are making are in keeping with the policies that they are recommending. They have basically said that masks are not that significant or important. In fact, they're not necessarily recommending them even any longer. If I understand them correctly, they're sort of an optional thing. What they are strongly suggesting is that we seek to practice staying 6 feet apart as much as possible. And they are also suggesting regularly washing hands as much as possible. And finally, they are saying that the biggest risk continues to be the elderly and those with underlying conditions. And so we're still encouraging our elderly folk for their own safety to stay at home. However, we're not refusing anyone. It's sort of your decision if you fall into those categories and you feel like it's safe or it's a risk you prefer to take. That's totally up to you. You're not going to be looked down upon or discouraged, once you're there to sort of, you need to go home. Not at all. You will be welcome if that's something you feel is appropriate for you. Lastly, in regards to the 14th and the Sundays following it, I would simply add we do not intend to police any of these standards. That we feel that is up to you, and you can decide what risks you want to take. So if we see people standing next to each other talking, we're not going to come up to you and say, hey, please get 6 feet apart. If two different families sit down and there's not 2 seats between them, we're not going to come, or our ushers are not going to come and ask you to move over or anything like that. So we don't want the environment at the church on Sunday morning to feel like people are being policed. And if you're one who's really nervous about things and really concerned for your own safety or well-being, you have every right to stay home. If this doesn't sound like something you're comfortable yet with, we fully understand. We anticipate quite a few people will probably continue to tune in online in some capacity and forego live church services for the foreseeable future. And again, you will not be judged at all either. We recognize that it's your choice, and you're doing what you believe is safest for you and for your family. We will not be pre-recording the services and putting them online in the way that we have been, and the work and the time that goes into those videos. However, we will be live streaming the services on Sunday morning at the time in which they run, starting at 10:15. And this will be on Facebook Live. So if you're wanting to stay home, our hope is that you'll be able to tune into those services live through the Facebook app, or just going on Facebook on your computer, and it should come up for you there. There is the possibility that the internet speeds would, or something technical would come up that would prohibit it from working properly. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to know for sure until we start doing this. And so either way, we will intend to put the services up after the fact. So after they happen, sometime later Sunday afternoon, our goal is to have them loaded for people to view in an archived form sometime by Sunday evening. So again, if you're one that needs to stay home due to safety, hopefully at least by the end of the day on Sunday, you will be able to tune in and view those church services. If not, tune into them live. Again, just one more bit of explanation on our planning. At this point, we are not planning to have Sunday school or children's ministries yet. Our desire is to phase those in down the road. That there's a lot more complexity involved in trying to maintain any sort of social distancing with kids. There's no way for us to enforce safe practices with kids if they're all together in one room. Plus, it's really difficult to envision how we would be able to have our regular volunteers in place, as we're sure many of them are in the older generation. Many of them are likely going to stay home. And so we don't think it would be feasible to try to have all of our Sunday school classes. We can't have the adult classes really without the kids classes as well, and to have children's ministries in general right away. So we are shooting for August 2nd, the first Sunday in August, as the first Sunday that we plan to have Sunday school and our children's ministries fully back in action. Again, that's tentative. Things could change. We don't know what's going to happen collectively within society. If things ramp back up, we may have to change those plans. But for now, we are tentatively targeting August 2nd as a return to Sunday school, as a return to normal youth group at the church and activities, and normal children's ministries. Finally, in regards to Sunday mornings, while our foyer renovation plan is still ongoing, thankfully we are at a place where all of the cement work outside of is finished. On the inside, things are safe. They're still under construction. I think painting is ongoing right now. The flooring is still unfinished and such. But we can use that area as entryways, and so that will create more entries and exits for people to come and go, which should create less bottlenecking, less places where lots of people end up getting clumped, as we can use all of the entryways and exits at the church. So if you have specific questions, or if there are things that you think that we have forgotten, feel free to contact us by email. Might be the easiest way, and we will get back with you to help answer your questions. So thank you, and God bless.